I just heard this yesterday, but I hear all the time they say, "Oh, patience. I don't have that."
Yep.
You know, I don't. That's something I really need, and it's kind of one of those virtues or things that I think people automatically can kind of just dismiss as being okay if you don't have patience.
Right.
Or they can have this idea of what patience means to them, like waiting in line at Starbucks or that kind of patience. But that idea of waiting, I think is really important. What does patience mean to you guys?
I have no patience, and I'm one of those
You're
people.
one of those people.
Totally one of those people that is like, I have no patience, and I feel like it's an excuse so that I don't have to develop it.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want to develop it because there's a part of me that's like, that's too hard. And every time I do exhibit patience, everything goes better.
Yeah.
But for me, it's that 30-second, actually 3-second pause of stop, pre-edit, wait, breathe. But it is a practice skill, and I'm very unpracticed.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how you create patience as a part of the framework where people can enter in those spaces. Like Tasneem talks about bringing people together from different cultures.
Yeah.
And I think just to have to sit there and listen to someone else's story and so on and so forth, you're gaining this patience, but the byproducts of that is humility, wisdom, understanding. I don't know if the research, but I'm guessing it's not innate patience.
No.
But how do we change the culture, create this practice around patience so that there's more sanity? Maybe it's our mental health, right? It's a part
Right. I think that's an inroad, is saying, first of all, it's going to be good for you.
Right.
It's really, we want it, I mean, it's good for the entire culture, but sometimes that's where, like when I started my research, I was looking at all the mental health outcomes first. Because I'm like, that's the first start, is say, hey, you want to be less depressed. You want to be less anxious. Like, here's a first inroad. I mean, I care about that, but I really care about, oh, now we can actually get along with each other and be contributing members of society and
But
know how to love people. But right, you sometimes need a way to get people at least willing to come to the table.
And when you're I think both of you speak about something really important, in that is discrimination, racism, that grows and breeds when we don't know people's personal stories.
Right.
And then when you're sitting face to face and you're hearing their story, then it requires you to listen to that story, which kind of enables us to be patient, because I know you as a person, not just as a group that I've put in a category, right?
On that note, going back to the Muslim-Jewish dialogue space, we had a cohort where there was an Israeli and a Palestinian in the group. And this is after the Israel-Palestine retreat and after we have been together for 6 months, I think. And we're in a circle, and the Palestinian woman, she says, when I first found out that, you were Israeli, had served in the IDF, you were the last person I wanted to know. And now you're the one I want to know the most. And it was one of those moments of like, okay.
Yeah, there's hope.
There's hope.
Yes.
That's so much of our work, is putting Jews in dialogue with people that don't know us or don't understand us. And because it's been so misunderstood, Judaism and the Jewish project, for so long. So from Latinos to Christians to Blacks to Palestinians to Israelis, like, that's so much of what we do now in the Jewish community, is just to open up people's stories so that we can see their hearts.
And it being that two-way, where I'm here to listen to yours and you're here to listen to mine, and that is the transformational part. Yeah.
And I think the unintended outcome or benefits of this patience is that we don't contradict who we are as a country to want to boast in our diversity, yet we don't know anything about the diverse people that are here.
Right. You can live so siloed, even in
Los Angeles, for sure.
You have this diversity that you can live siloed from, and that really knowing the personal stories and engaging it. That's where the beauty of diversity comes out, right?
And I also see, like, if we don't embrace this, it could be forced upon us. Because there's this movie from long ago called, well, it's not that long ago, probably 10 years, Crash.
Yes.
And it shows like the hustle and bustle of people's daily life, and they don't really make time to work through differences until they literally crash into each other.
Yeah.
So that's on the freeway, or you get upset about the mailman with the mail, or whatever the case may be. And so how do we get ahead of those negative things that we know will exist if we don't exude this patience, humility, and wanting to gain understanding?
So the tip I use every day is every time you get in an elevator, you say hello to everybody in the elevator. When you sit down to a restaurant, you introduce yourself to the waiter, ask him his name, and introduce to everybody. And we do this as a family, and we do this all the time. And I'm 100 times I get weird looks from elevator people, like, do we know each other? Right. But a lot of people are not acknowledged or seen every day, and giving them that moment of I see you, I recognize you, I crash into you, like not in a violent way, but we're in each other's world. And more often than not, people are like, well, good morning to you, Sherre. And they're like, I don't know you. But just doing those small, tiny things. You say hello to your waiter and you say, tell me your name. I'm Sherre. This is Sarah. This is Ben. It changes the whole dining experience.
And the other thing I also love about what you two said is the importance of a social group, right? It's hard when I'm just trying to figure out on my own how to take a break and take a Sabbath. But when you have your social group does something together, it can be really powerful. And you have this community doing this. So it's not just me trying to figure it out, but we're all going to take a break and have a Shabbat or a Sabbath or a rest.
We all put our phones in the
sleeping bag. You all do it.
Right? And then it's like they're hanging up, they're away.
Right. Or Ramadan, we're all going to fast. So it's not just, it needs, I think it must be a communal practice to really be effective. Right. And I think the beautiful thing with patience too that we see is that how it can create this upward cycle.
Yes.
Right? It's very easy for downward cycles to happen in relationships where you say mean, they say meaner, and whoa, we're going down a bad path. Yeah. But when I can hold off on my reactivity, and then my husband can have space to think, like, it's just amazing how it can really push everyone to their best selves.
If we try really, really hard to be patient, we might be missing the boat, right? That we need relationships, we need community to help foster patience.
And that's really, it's really one of the few ways we actually can decrease prejudice and discrimination is actual personal, meaningful contact with people who are different. Like, not much else works. That is the key. And it's so exciting when you get to see it in person. You're like,
So the message is convene your own little group. Jews, Muslims, blacks, Christians, and have coffee.
Totally.
Or tea.